Okay, so I know if you see the title, you must be thinking, oh, it's just Branded Despia. I've seen this deck literally hundreds of times while playing on the ranked ladder. What's so interesting about Branded Despia? Well, not this build. I promise you, this is not the build that everyone's playing on ladder. Okay, and I promise you the replays are quite a bit more interesting than just activate Branded Fusion, pass, called by Ash. If don't have called by, I lose. You know, so forth. So it's like this one, for example. First replay we're gonna show is how this deck beats up on the mirror match. Essentially, if they don't draw a super poly, like it's a wrap. So they're gonna go to the somewhat standard lineup: Lubellion, add ad libitum, and go into a Mirror Jade. They actually they set a monster to banish, you know, cool. And they do this interesting play where they actually use Albion in the end phase to add Branded Red to hand, and then use the Branded Red in the end phase to target their Tragedy so that they can go into a Dragos Stapelia and end on 2 fusions instead of just 1. Which is actually pretty cool. It's more different than what I've seen from typical Despia players on ladder. So anyway, we're gonna open up with Allure and draw a double Patchwork. Thank you. Banish the Albion since we don't need an upstart at this point. And Patchwork will add Poly plus Edgem Chain. Next we normal summon Alibur, and they're gonna chain Dragos Stapelia on our Alibur, and I'm gonna chain. Okay, so this was a slight misplay. Like it doesn't matter because I didn't need to discard 2 cards. I could have just sent the Alibur to dodge Dragos Stapelia and then negate the Mirror Jade, and I still would have gotten my search. But it doesn't end up mattering because at the end of the day, Fight for Patro is a dead card anyways. So yeah, we just reduced the attack of their Dragos Stapelia for the flex. Now Alibur is off the field, so it will resolve and get us a Branded Fusion. And we'll fire off the Branded Fusion to go into our own Lubellion, dumping Albaz and Tragedy. And they reveal that their set card is actually not Branded Red, but it is in fact an infinite permanence. And I'm completely fine with that. Because now Tragedy will still add us our ad libitum. And since we have a Poly in hand, we can, well, first Edgem is going to add us our 3rd Fight for Patchwork of this game. Nice. And then Poly with Albaz and Mirror Jade, or Albaz and the negate Lubellion into Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade will send Albion. So, I mean, they're going to chain their Mirror Jade just to get their Albion engraved. So here, a lot of people are wondering. I know some people are confused as why sometimes Mirror Jade does not trigger its Raigeki effect when it's removed from the field. So, very importantly, this card says if this fusion summon card in its own control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect. Keyword fusion summon. Same wording as the Masquerade. So, i.e., if Mirror Jade is fusion summoned off Lubellion, say for example, then it will have its Raigeki effect when it leaves the field. However, if Mirror Jade is summoned off of ad libitum's effect, and then ad libitum special summons Mirror Jade, it is not actually fusion summoned, so therefore it can't get its Raigeki effect when it leaves the field. It's a little something to know. So anyway, Mirror Jade clears the field, and then here's the thing: because I'm a turn player, I get to activate my Albion first, and then after my Albion resolves in the end phase, I get to call by the grave their Albion so that their Albion doesn't resolve. I know it's Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, we just completely steamroll their field and then put them on no follow up. Okay, so let's get straight into it with the replays. This duel is basically the perfect encapsulation of why I prefer the all-gas turbo Despia build over more mid-rangey builds of hand traps or this adventure build. So immediately you'll see we use patchwork to get our chain and polymerization, and we get hit with Droll, and we do not have access to Branded Fusion. But we're perfectly okay because we hard drew the Fallen of Albaz. Since we maxed on that as well, we get to make Lubellion with chain and Albaz and still go into Mirror Jade that way. And when our opponent infirms us, that's even better, because now we can chain Branded in red to their infirm, target a Fallen of Albaz we just used for poly, and then turn Fallen of Albaz and our Lubellion into a Mirror Jade, which in turn lets our Lubellion dodge their infirm, and then we shuffle back the same two monsters that we used to make a Mirror Jade into a Dragos Lapelia. And we still end on 2 interruptions, plus, we end on 2 interruptions, and Mirror Jade will get as a follow-up on the next turn. And usually, a resolved Droll oftentimes ends Branded Despia's turn, especially if you don't have access to Branded Fusion. And Infirm on Lubellion is also quite devastating when it resolves. So, yeah, that shows how this certain build is able to just play through disruption that would normally hurt this deck a lot. Alright, so we're gonna show you just how insane this build is and how insane the combo is. So first of all, I'm gonna allure and get hella rewarded for, you know, I sometimes you just draw a tragedy off allure, you know. You're just skilled sometimes. But anyway, Branded Fusion is gonna go off because I was so skilled my opponent didn't draw Ash. And now we have Branded Fusion, Poly plus Branded Red, so you know what that means. We're going for the triple Masquerade combo. We're gonna make Masquerade with Lubellion, Branded Red back the Albaz, make a Mirror Jade with the Albaz and the Lubellion. Then Mirror Jade will banish itself, actually, excuse me, to send Albion. Then we'll fuse both Ad Libitum and the extra Alibur in hand to make the second Masquerade. And Ad Libitum is gonna bring back our Mirror Jade. And I'm gonna attempt to Mirror Jade send Brigand this time to banish our Alibur, and then our opponent's gonna nib us. So yeah, I mean, I don't respect Nib as a card this far anymore because most people aren't running it, so fair. But in the end phase, we still get our Mercurial Search, and we get our Albion to set our brand in red. So our opponent also opens Duster, but you can see we're completely fine because we'll just brand it in red back our Ad Libitum. And with that, we'll use the Nib token and Ad Libitum to make a Coritis. And then Ad Libitum is going to trigger to get back our Mirror Jade. So now, despite getting Nib for everything we have, we still have a Mirror Jade and a Tri-Brigade Mercurial. And our Mercurial is going to negate their Ecclesia. Cool, and then they try to enter battle and I will make their Nib 0, and when they normal summon Adhara, I figure they're gonna make Final Sigma. So we're gonna banish it, and end phase we get the Albion, and yeah. Yep, it's Despia, everybody. Two interruptions, despite using the entire hand through Nibiru. Actually, let me check. Wow, he wasn't even on Final Sigma. He fucking baited me. Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay, whatever. Okay, so this is another duel where I'm made to go first, and immediately I'm thinking, oh god, I'm going for another grind of a new run game again. So anyway, I'm just gonna start with Albion, dump Albaz, draw in the chain, which is a ridiculous draw. Branded Fusion into Lubellion, and Lubellion will ditch Chain to, and Tragedy will trigger. They're gonna Valor Lubellion, and you know, it's still fine since Tragedy will get us our Alibur, and next Chain will get us our Patchwork, which will get us our Poly. And now we'll summon our Alibur. Alibur will get us a copy of Branded Lost. I'm trying something different this game. Activate Branded Lost, activate Polymerization, dump Snow and Tragedy for Masquerade. And then Branded Lost will trigger, which will let me add Spriggan's Kit. And we'll summon Spriggan's Kit to the field, Spriggan's Kit, to add our Branded Red and put back our third copy of Tragedy. It's very necessary. And then Branded Red will target our Albaz. And then with the leftover Lubellion, and Albaz will go into Mirror Jade, which will then send Albion, and they're gonna Nibiru right now, which is honestly a quite odd time to Nibiru, since as you'll see, while Mirror Jade can just banish the Nibiru they just summoned, and then end phase will still get our Branded. So this is still an okay position because we have a huge ass Nibiru token and Branded Red life that as long as it resolves. Now they're playing 8-axis and not Numeron, so they summon Alpha and I kind of get a little scared, so I preemptively summon out the Snow because this Nibiru token is like one of the few things that's gonna keep me alive. Next they summon Diva. I like it. I like the tech. Shoutouts to Diva. And as soon as they summon their Orgy out, we're gonna Branded Red our Tragedy and then go into a Guardian Chimera that's popping 2 cards. Yeah, and Tragedy's gonna get us our last copy of Alibur. Lost will get us a Mercurier, because why not? And then we'll pop their Orochi and their Deep Sea Diva and hope they don't have another level 8. Which they don't, so this game is pretty much over. Well, Alibur, and we drew into a Call by the Grave as well, so there's no more risk. Yeah, add Branded Red, and I'm BMing so hard at this point. I send Alibin from the deck to summon Brigand the Gory Dragon. Like I'm literally just clicking buttons, and then this will add us for Albion. And I'm like, okay, well I gotta Albion send Brand opening to draw a card. Okay, Allure. Okay, draw 2. Banish the Mercurier. Mercurier will add back the Albion that we literally just put back in this deck, and then I'll brand it in red. Read the ad lib and go into another Chimera that's gonna pop their face down Alpha, and then ad lib is gonna summon back Master. And even that's the strength of Branded Red. Like literally, all I had that game was basically Branded Red and like the Snow set, and we were able to survive the onslaught of an 8-axis deck with a bunch of hand traps and maxi. Okay, so this replay is going to show the power of taxation without representation. So we're going to Albion send Fallen Balbas to get a draw a card, and we draw a Calabi, so we're a sack. Now they don't have an Astra or Branded Fusion anyway, so that doesn't really matter. And we go into Lubellion, and Lubellion will pitch the Snow that we hard drew. Nice. Now we're gonna add our ad lib and go into our Mirror Jade. And Mirror Jade will banish itself. If you're going for the Masquerade line, always banish Mirror Jade for itself, because when you poly, ad lib will will summon the Mirror Jade back from the banish pile, and you get to keep the Alibur engraved for when if they out your Mirror Jade or Max, you can summon out the Alibur. So little optimization. So yeah, end phase Albion's gonna get our brand in red. This is the standard board with Branded Fusion plus Poly. And now they're gonna Pot of Desires. I'm thinking Swordsoul. I see a Pendulum card. I know they're on Endymion, so I shotgun the brand in red. That way, I get my second Tax Dragon out as soon as possible to burn them for as much as possible. I don't even care about the Mirror Jade at all. So yeah, the Mirror Jade is just a chump blocker at this point, and they waste one of their activations on my Colubi that did nothing. So now they only have 4 card activations left. Now they only have 3 card activations left. This is their 2 more card activations before they can no longer play the game. It's their second to last one, and they realize they literally cannot. They cannot operate with this much tax, so they just concede. Okay, so this last game is going to be one of the most ridiculous game states I've ever been in my entire life. So this is another open with Albion, send Albaz, and we draw into Branded red. Then we'll Branded Fusion for our Rebellion again. And we just love drawing triple tragedy for some reason. And they infirm our Rebellion, while we top deck the Branded red because we're good at the game. So we get to add back the Albaz, and then fusion summon our Mirror Jade so our Rebellion dodges the infirm again. Just the classic. Yeah, who needs comedy? I'll add our Alibur, and Rebellion will get a Dragos Stapelia. Now because we have Despia Monster's Grave, we can normal summon Alibur and add our Branded opening. And Mirror Jade, I'll send Albion to banish the Alibur, and then we get to set our Branded ready end phase. Okay, so this is where things go off the rails. We special summon Ecclesia. They super poly. Dumping Edge and Chain. So we lose our entire board. It's a good thing we set our Branded opening. You know, I wasn't playing around super poly, but you know that's it works out. And as soon as they add Patchwork to hand, I'm like I'm gonna trigger Branded opening so that when they tag out into Albaz, hopefully have a harder choice of cards to discard. So dump Tragedy, get Ad Libitum. They're gonna use their Albaz effect. And then after Tragedy, I'm gonna chain Branded in red on the Albaz. And I was gonna send it with the Forbidden Drawlist, but they opened double super poly, I guess, so alright. They're gonna poly away my Ad Libitum and their own Albaz into a Masquerade, and I'm not gonna be able to summon, obviously, but because they used our own Ad Libitum, the fusion summon, we can trigger our own Ad Libitum to special summon our Mirror Jade back from the grave, and Mirror Jade beats this entire board. So yeah, that's how you recover from getting super poly twice in the same turn. Yeah, just have your opponent trigger your own Despia effects for you. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna have the full deck profile. I'm gonna have the spicy combo tutorial. I know Despia combo, haha. No, trust me, it's a good it's a heat combo.